Alright, what's going on, people of the internet, and welcome back to another episode of Ark Survival Evolved Max Speed, and this time we are looking at the Dragon GodMod. Now, the Dragon GodMod is a mod put up by, I believe, Joan, that's what it says, Joan's Dragon GodMod on the Steam Community Store for PC, and the Dragon God is absolutely crazy. I mean, this thing is just ginormous, and it's got some crazy attacking power, and it can breathe blue fire, which is pretty cool. I mean, the Dodo Rex can breathe red fire, the regular dragon can also breathe red fire, and then you got the Dragon God, which is just this huge creature, and I'll leave the command for summoning it in the description. It actually is listed on the mod's page, which is good, very helpful, very good, and it's pretty cool looking. And you can see I whistle it to follow me here, and it shakes the ground like nothing else in this entire game can. I mean, this thing is seriously probably the most earthquake-inducing creature I think I've ever seen. Because there's, of course, Brontos and Alpha Rexes, Dodo Rexes. Doesn't matter. I'm in K mode right here, and you can see I can't even look around because this Dragon God is just insane. So I go to the options menu and I try to look for, not the motion blur, but the earthquake slider if it even had one. But I gave up and didn't even bother looking for it here. So it was probably there, but I was too lazy to really search for the whole thing. So we're gonna get this guy to follow us. It's a level 120, which is maxed out, of course. Well, I think that under the mod description it said that it can only be at the level of, I think, 2 times what your max level settings are. So I think this thing could naturally occur at 240 on a standard Ark 1.0 difficulty server. But we're going to get one here at 120 because that's kind of our trend here. So it's fast. And it's really good at attacking things because you can see here, it's got cool hit sounds like it's arrows hitting something. You can kind of hear that in the background. And it's really cool. And you can see it's just chewing through hordes and hordes of dinosaurs. And there's a Spino up ahead of me, and I'm going to go ahead and sprint over to it. It's got pretty decent standard movement speed. Certainly better than pretty much anything else in the game. And it essentially one-shots that Spino with its fire breath. So, granted it was level 12, but yeah. It can't actually fly, which is a little bit strange because I think a characteristic of a dragon, to make it a dragon, is that it has, I think, 2 legs, 2 arms, and 2 wings. But this guy doesn't seem like he can fly, so it's a little bit strange, but it can jump really far, so that's good. It's got that going for it. And, of course, flying doesn't really matter when you can jump that high, because there's pretty much no cliff you can't scale in this entire game with that kind of jumping capabilities, and it's fast enough that, you're not really going to miss any flying. Now, could you make the argument that this max speed build is actually worth doing? Because, I mean, it's a Dragon God. What else are you going to do other than chew through the entire continent with it? And I think you could honestly make the argument that this thing's probably worth going for with max out movement speed, because there's just nothing really that can stand in its way. I mean, maybe the Dodo Rex. In fact, I'm kind of open to doing a Mythbusters video that's kind of looking at whether or not the Dragon God at 120 perfect tame to 180 can solo a Dodo Rex, or vice versa. So I think that I would probably take the Dodo Rex, Forcetame it, because I think there is a mod to re-add it back into the game, and then I would do that, as well as then take the Dragon God at 120 wild and take it up against the Dodo Rex. And then I think that might work out pretty well, so I think that'd be pretty cool. And if you think you got any other suggestions on how I could do that video, feel free to leave them in the comments, because, I mean, I don't really want to do too many death battles for Mythbusters, but I think this could be pretty interesting. Now, you can see here we found an Alpha T-Rex, and this is actually a leftover from the Q&A video for 500 subs that I put out maybe 2-3 weeks ago. And we're at over 6,000 now, which is absolutely insane. And thank you all so much, but I don't think it's very wise to stick around with this Alpha Rex because it's over level 660,000. And I'm kind of surprised that it didn't just one-shot me there. In fact, I think it's mainly because when you have a ridiculously high level like that, it just brings its stats way down when you relaunch the game to something closer to like a level 300 rather than a level 500, 600,000. So letting stamina recharge here, it takes a really long time, which is a bit of a downside. But other than that, I can't really think that the Dragon God has any, really, just because it's just so big and it just knocks all the trees over. So mobility isn't much of a problem, and it's so strong, and it's really cool looking. I mean, I love the way this thing looks. It's got great animations, great hitboxes. Clearly, Joan, the creator of the mod, or as quoted, Joan, in quotation marks, did a really good job on this mod, and it looks really, really cool. So we're not going to bother screwing with that Alpha T-Rex over there, because it's just so high of a level it's not going to really teach us anything. So only thing left to do is to give it max movement speed, and we haven't done that yet, which is kind of weird, because it usually is pretty early into the video that we do that, but it was nice to do some testing and see what this Dragon God is really all about. Now, I believe it is listed in the description of the mod that you can't actually have this thing at spawning naturally, because it's still in early. It's kind of like an alpha of an alpha. The mod is basically an alpha of Ark, which is itself an alpha game. So the reason that you can't spawn this is because the creator obviously doesn't know what she wants to do with it or what he wants to do with it yet, because you can spawn the Dragon Godlings or the baby Dragon Gods, but you can't actually spawn this thing without admin support, which is what I was able to do here. So I might look into doing the baby Dragon Gods or the Dragon Godlings or whatever they're called in a future Max Speed video, but I hope you like this one, and if you want to see the Dragon God versus a Alpha T-Rex at 120 or a Dodorex at level 1 or a Dodorex at 120, go ahead and leave them in the comments, because I would love to test out that stuff. So thank you for watching. A little bit of news on the tower defense. It's going to be happening Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Atlantic time. So stay posted on the Steam group. It'll be in the description. Of course, all the commands will be there too. And this is your 2 days of warning, so could have been a little bit better organized, but I hope to see everybody there. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of whatever we make. Peace. So we're going to go ahead and jump this thing off the side of the volcano. And you can see here, it starts out really, really well. It's not the best, you know, kind of flyer, obviously, because its wings, they're pretty small. They get the job done, though. But as you can see, as you go further and further, you'll notice on the horizon the drop-off really starts to kick in, and the terror bird starts to fall quite fast. So, and of course, we have proven in the previous Mythbusters episode about fall damage that you can be one-shot as a human being, so jumping off this volcano would probably be a bad idea for my personal health.